Hey guys, Blade Raging here, coming at you with my friend Zane.
Hello there,
He
viewers.
is our fellow member of Team Shadow Strike with his Dark Irregulars profile.
So there's many builds for Dark Regulars. Everybody has their own particular taste in them. Mine, I've never had a real set avatar, I guess, of the deck per se, except No Life King Death Banker. But with Dark Regulars, I feel they're more of a randomized kind of thing, and so I try to go for whatever I can do. And so my Vanguard is Vermilion Gatekeeper, just because he's purely awesome, and plus he'll help do your soul build. I used to have the Rainbow of Triggers, but now I have 4 Curse Doctors, because Curse Doctor loves me. And then I have 4 Blitz Ritters, so 4 crit so far, 8 crit now with Dark Knight, and 4 Hysterical Charlies for 4 draw, because getting that extra soul power in is really handy. I have 3 Doreen the Thrusters in the deck because it's really easy to get stuff into your soul constantly, and a nice extra boost is always good. For my strong booster for my Vanguard, I typically go with my Devil Child if I can. If I can't, then oh well. But you're bound to have 6 in the soul if you're actually trying. Very easily, especially early on, as long as you have the right cards. I also have 3 Alluring Succubus in my deck because you can play them down. They're 7k booster, and their effect is a you may, but you can soul charge when you play them down. So as your Vanguard, if you ride, you get 2 in your soul, so you already have 3 ready and waiting for you. It's really easy to get your soul built up if you play it right. I have 2 Perfect Guards right now. This is just all I have, but I don't need Perfect Guards in the deck anyway. They're handy, but they're bound to go in your soul or in your damage zone at some point anyway, so I don't mind just having 2. I don't have a big enough hand size to use them anyway, so it's not a real big concern to me. The Grade 1 Amon I love to death because it'll be a 9k attacker or a 9k booster, but regardless, you're getting some power right here just for having 6 in the soul. I can't argue with that. For Grade 2s, I have 1 Flirtatious Succubus because it's a Grade 2. I mean, it'll be easier to ride, and I think my numbers go better without more Grade 1s in it. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 14 Grade 1s. So I have Flirtatious Succubus of 1 of. I have 4 Decadent Succubuses because their ability is too good to pass up for me if I really want to bust up my soul. I mean, by turn 1 I don't really want a massive soul, but by turn 2, when I start playing out cards, then this really comes in handy. Plus it's a 9k attacker, so on rear guard it's pretty handy. I have 3 Dark Soul Conductors, which even from your hand you can guard with, and they'll soul charge too. And as an interceptor, it's not bad either, but also 8k attack, not terrible. Red Magma's another alternative to that, though, if you just like cards that will kind of give you more choices when you attack. So I have 2 Demon of Aspirations Amon, the Grade 2 one, who, if you have 6 in your soul, he's an 11k attacker. That's, again, not really hard to do, especially by turn 2. And for my Grade 3 lineup, I have 3 of my favorite card, No Life King Death Anchor. This is my preferred ride if I can. I mean, his ability is really good, and you can keep using it until you get tired of it, then bring out a new guy to ride.
That's what the ability is.
The ability is, if you have 8 in your soul or more, you can, he'll be an 11k body at all times. So it's kind of like a ride chain, but not, because you're not ride chaining anything.
Dark Regulars don't need a ride chain.
We don't need a ride chain, and even if we did, we'd already have the stuff in our soul prepared for it, so we don't need to ride over anything. The second ability is you soul charge at the start of your turn, and it gives you an extra 2k, so he'll be a 13k attacker on your turn if he has at least 8 in the soul. And then his last ability, which is his best ability, is when you attack, if you have 5 unflipped damage in your counterblast zone, then you can suck them all into your soul when you attack, and he'll get an extra 10k and a crit. So him by himself with that ability is 23 with a crit, plus Devil Child is 33 with a crit. If it's not perfect guarded, it's going to be rough. I'll say that much. And then at the end of your turn, you put up 5 new damage face up. So you can do it next turn if you really want to, or save it for a Mega Blaster if you have a Mega Blaster, which this helps Mega Blasters immensely too. Then we have my other favorite card, honestly, Steel Vampire. He's good in any situation, honestly, because you can keep him in your hand, play him down anytime you want to. He's an act ability, so he doesn't have to be on your Vanguard, and you don't have to like attack and hit or just waste your battle phase just on his ability. You can just set him down, use his Mega Blast, and it's good. His first ability is, beginning of your turn, you Soul Charge and you get 2k power. But his second ability is Act. You can Soul Blast 8, Counter Blast 5 to take any one of your opponent's rear guards, make it their new Vanguard for the turn, and at the end of the turn, they can pick any card in their soul and make it their new Vanguard at the end of your turn, though. So, in the meantime, if they decide to make the mistake of leaving out let's say your starting Vanguard, perhaps, or maybe a Lost Magnus and you didn't have anything to boost it with.
Like Bermuda Triangles, Koro.
Yeah, I mean, you're bound to have a grade 0 out if you're playing Bermuda at some point. So, leaving you at 5k, 3k, whatever you're left at, you're going to have a bad time because you're only a grade 0. And the rule still applies that you can only guard with cards that are the same grade as you in your hand.
Or lower.
Or lower. If you're 0, you don't really got much choice. So Steel Vampire is always going to have my vote and is always going to be in my deck at some point. Now I have 3 of Demon World Maquis Samon. I love him for if you have nothing left in your hand too. He's really good just to play down. And if you've been building up a big soul, you have no counterblast left, or even if you have a little bit left, he's still good. His power is for each card in your soul, you get an extra 1,000 power when he attacks, or at least on your turn. And his second ability is an act. It's a counterblast. You suck any card in your rear guard to your soul. Your opponent is then forced to retire any one of theirs to their drop zone. Not to their soul, just their drop zone.
And have you heard the new ruling about cards that make your opponent select their rear guards and retire it?
And what would that be?
If your opponent is playing Stamp Sea Otter, they can no longer choose to use that rear guard as the target. So they are forced to retire one, whether they like it or not.
Yeah. You have to follow up with the rules, what it's made for, intentionally, to Demon Blood Ritual, something on their side, something must die. So if they have nothing on the field, don't even use it. But if you can, do it. I think you're forced to. Yeah, you would have to. No, I get. If they don't have any rear guards, could you do that still? His ability, just to suck the stuff in your soul.
Yes, and you can, because one, you want to, just to get that extra soul charge.
Right. Yeah.
So that flirtatious or alluring, just to get the extra +2.
Mm-hmm.
But not only are you wasting your counterblast, but you're also wasting a card in your hand and a rear guard.
Right.
And then at the same time, no, because they're required to have one, and if they don't, they just get off scot-free.
Well.
So it'd just be a waste, other than an extra 1k -2.
Yeah. I mean, his ability is nice. It's not perfect, but it's nice. That's why he's not the center of my piece. I don't think I would do the cross ride personally, but it would be nice to try out in the future, or the reverse, I mean. And the only complications with this deck I would warn anybody about is a hand problem. You're bound to waste most of your hand when you're playing it out anyway, but that's usually most Dark Regulars, unless you plan ahead for that, if you're really cautious about what you waste and stuff. But especially with Hysterical Shirley, you're drawing cards, but then you're just going to play her back down anyway and then Soul Charge, so you're losing your same cards that you just had. I mean, I have Dark Knight of Nightmare Land because, I mean, he's a choice. You could get an extra 3K if you need that. This is pretty much a power build. I find Dark Regulars one of the best decks to fight against other powerhouses like Kagero and stuff like that because this can overwhelm it, or at least give them a hard time.
By tenfold, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, come on. It's just amazing what you can do with this deck. And
Now, what do you have to say about everybody saying whenever King of Mass Dantirian comes out that nobody will no longer be playing a Mon or Dark Lord of the Abyss or Bladewing Reiji? They're either going to do a Mon Reverse or Master of the Fifth Element. What would you say about that?
I'd say it's possible that they will. I would try them out in just about any deck. I don't really care personally. It's all a taste thing, and it's a break ride, correct?
Yep. Break ride's a break ride.
Can you really argue with more power with a Dark Regular deck? I mean, that's kind of built into its nature. But I would say, yeah, I think people will probably stop using it, but that they'll probably come back to it at some point.
Now, do you remember King of Mass Dantirian's effect?
Mostly.
Break ride?
Yeah. Remind me again if you could.
King of Mass Dantirian's break ride is, of course, limit break 4. Dark Regular's grade 3 rides on top. You get to choose up to 3 of your rear guards, Dark Irregular rear guards, and they gain plus 1,000 for each card in the soul. So if you're going to be playing Reiji like I am, you're going to have 347 to 64k columns swinging at you. And then, along with the double crit, your opponent will probably flip the table before you even declare your next attack.
Yeah.
Hey, Jonathan, this is going on YouTube.
I know. I have to get my signature. Please sign in.
But anyways, yeah. No, I think it's a great idea, personally.
Laughing at me over here.
Vylon, what is that? I can't read it. That's okay. But yeah, I think that Tarian's a good idea.
Okay. This has been Zane with his Dark Irregulars profile. Please don't put the dark hole in here. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Captain Zane, fortune out.